Hello everyone. How we all doing here tonight? I'm Nikki. I'm here joined by my good friend Chai, and we're coming at you live with some more CCA matches. Tonight we have a pretty interesting match in Division 2. We got the WPI Grizzco Workers Union from Worcester Polytechnic Institute going up against the Titans of Alterna Orange from California State University of Fullerton. Chai, what can you tell me about these two teams?
Well, Nikki, both of these teams are pretty evenly matched right now, and this is going to be a very important match here for determining who's going to make playoffs this season. WPI and Titans, I'm pretty familiar with both of their captains, and I know this has been a very fiery and exciting match to hear about them preparing for this season. We have some really interesting comps we're going to be seeing here in these games. Titans Alterna historically has been a very interesting team comp-wise, running very interesting weapons such as brush, swigs, dreads, like everything, every like a lot of things that are incredibly off meta at the current moment, while WPI runs a lot more of a standard comp. But both teams have very interesting communication and team play styles that will be really fun to follow in this match. Are we going to transition over to the card?
Maybe not. It doesn't matter. I'm sure those keys to victories will come up as we get deeper into the set. But it looks like we're moving or transitioning quite quickly into our first game on Mahi Zones. Any thoughts on this map, Mochai? It's a personal favorite of mine.
It's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of it personally, but I think this will be really fun to watch with both these teams here, because sometimes this map can be very lockout heavy depending on the team comp here, and it looks like we're gonna get a look at that here. Ooh, we've got a leader, a dread, a T-Tech, and a brush coming out from Titans, and a pretty standard comp of Luga, a double shot, crab, and a cooler coming from Grizzco here.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to note, by the way, the Kraken on the side of Titans of Alterna is actually the custom leader with Kraken. You typically don't see that in zone, so definitely an interesting pick coming out for them. But it seems like Titans have an early advantage here, securing the zone, trying to take some space. Union Busters go 2 down. Not Union Busters, Workers Union. My fault. They go 2 down, but they get a quick reversal. Now Titans are 2 down. This could be an opportunity for the Workers Union to really move back in and take some space.
Yes, it looks like the crabs will be coming out here, and they're going to get quick control of the zone here. But Titans Alterna are playing relatively safe here on the side. Just numbers to come back in here and an opportunity, and the Kraken's going to offer that to them as Titans reverse this quickly back into their favor. WPI fully backing out into their side, and we see a Reef come out here that's going to potentially cause a distraction here. And it looks like Titans are going to be just trying to create some sort of trade lockout situation here. But with going down, it's going to go right back into the favor of Grizzco Workers Union.
Yeah, Workers Union moving back in, taking control of zone, just shy of 60 points on the side of Titans. That's kind of important to mention, because on this map, once one team gets the score down to below 60, the map gets a lot bigger, and usually that bigger map is a lot better for the team at disadvantage to use that extra space to their advantage and come back in. So we're gonna have to deal with the more constricting Mahi for a little bit longer. Finally, we get one team to take the score down to below 60. The map's gonna get a lot bigger here. Titans are going to have a lot more options in terms of how they want to move around the map, how they want to get back in. I see a Kraken come in from the side of the E-leader there, finding a few, but the Gluga's making an amazing play, taking out 2 themselves, jumping out, preserving their Zuka, probably the right thing to do, although it is going to give Titans a free opportunity to come back in, retake the zone, and now with no penalty online still, they're going to be able to get a lot of points here.
Yes, but Grizzco Workers Union has a very good history of coming back from situations like this, and with 3 specials up on the side of Grizzco Workers Union, this is going to be a great opportunity for them to come back in here. It looks like the Tri-Strike isn't going to get anything here, and they're all grouped up there, and the Whale is able to take 2 of them out there, so the map its control is going to go right back into the favor of Titans here, and WPI is going to have to make another plan to push in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, WPI, smartly, they do take the zone. They're going to have a bit more time to play for this game. It looked like Titans were trying to run away with things there, but they're going to have a pretty substantial penalty to work through. So a lot more back and forth here. Looks like the Splash is really trying to fish out those beacons to ensure that Titans lose their momentum. They can't just keep jumping in for free. A Reef Slider on zone, that's going to do a lot to flip it. The instant flip, WPI is going to have another big penalty to work through. They didn't get any points there. Although with Titans being 2 down, this could be their chance to take a lot of space. I say as a really bold Kraken comes in and finds one. Can they find another? Not quite. And now like Elio's kind of in a bad spot.
Yes, but it looks like WPI is going to get them out of here, and they're going to jump right back into their spawn here. The brush goes down from Titans of Alterna. That's an incredibly important pick for this team here, along with the leader. So Dreadringer and Tita and Dread goes down as well. They have to be really careful here. They're getting staggered in some way, and it looks like Chrono's just going to be going in there to try to get a pick, but they get sadly picked off the pass. They got 19 seconds left on the clock. Strikes are coming out here. This is Titans of Alterna's chance here to chase the zone back in their favor, and they do. It looks like we're going to be in this game for a little bit longer, folks.
Yeah, I mean, Titans, a really good play there. They threw everything they had at the zone. Strikes, a slider, the T-Tech found 2 there. They got the zone back in favor. WPI just shy of getting the knockout, so we're going to be playing this game for a little bit longer, as you mentioned. But still, if the zone trading back and forth over and over again, specials constantly going off. Azuka and a Crab Tank from WPI, like, the intensity of this game is not letting up anytime soon, it seems.
Yes, and it looks like Titans here have another good shot at getting Think, but it looks like they got a little bit too frisky there and ran in a little bit too early there, and it looks like 2 of them got taken out again. So, it looks like they're going to go for a Reef Cheese again as the zone goes back into the favor. Pinecone getting a really great 2 picks there, and it looks like this is going to be Titans' chance to potentially get some points back down on the board.
Yeah, no, this Dreadringer on the side of Titans, they're really putting some work into their team. That Reef Slider is really the heart and soul of every good push they have. Just that instant zone flip, it's so hard for the other team to deal with, and like right now, it's doing a lot of work for them. Another Reef Slider, finding another one. Titans' penalty is down. Within the last 10 seconds of the game, WPI is going to need to move right here and right now if they want any chance of saving this game. They do keep the zone, but a Kraken comes out, like the zone is still trading back and forth. We're going into overtime. Titans have one more chance to try to hold the zone for another 30 points and then some in order to take the game. It's going to be extremely close.
It looks like Phantom got a really great cap there by themselves, in fact. This is going to be WPI's chance to potentially bring this back in their favor, but with under 3 seconds left on the penalty, they kind of played that a little bit too fast and got wiped out. So unfortunately, this game is going to go to Titans of Alterna, but both teams played this match incredibly well, and I'm so excited to see how the rest of the set plays out.
I mean, I couldn't put it any better than you just did. Like, what a first impression of a game. Just constant back and forth. Picks trading left, right, and center. No idea who was going to take what and when. Just, like, as you mentioned, like, these are 2 teams that have a lot of history playing against each other. And I feel like you could tell that just by watching the way they play against each other. Like, they're so evenly matched, it's criminal.
Yeah, indeed. Genuinely, I feel like we didn't get to see the card before we started because we were like a little bit late here. But if we looked over WPI and Titan of Alterna's game plans, one of the biggest notes WPI had was focusing on shutting down Titans of Alterna's captain Lagoon, who, from my personal experience, is a really great shot caller and captain for their team, and does a really great job at controlling the pressure of their team pushes. And they did a really great job at taking those picks and shutting them down, but unfortunately, it looks like they played a little bit too fast there at the end and lost control. But in a situation like this, they just need to keep their cool and bring this back again coming into the next game here.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. In a situation like this, you know, losing the first game, especially in overtime, like that stings, but it's really important that you don't let that get to your morale too much. Because like once a lost morale starts to come in, you know, comms start to get uncomfortably quiet. It's as if the set's already over, right? So, oh dear, connection issues. $20 a year, get your cheap jokes in. We love Splatoon Wi-Fi.
It wouldn't be Splatoon without the 10-minute penalties, communication errors, and everything in between.
Well, as they get back into the set, or the PB, you know, just gives us more time to talk about what a banger first match that was, or first game, I should say.
And it looks like we're going to be going into TC Inkblot Art Academy, which is a pretty exciting map to see here, especially with the leader pick that we saw last game, along with the very fast-paced weapon comps of both these teams. Oh yeah, for sure. TC Inkblot, it's one of the most popular map modes in the game. It appears in just about every single map list there is that includes tower control these days. And for good reason. It's a map mode that really emphasizes the importance of understanding key locations, knowing where they are, why they're important, and when to take them. You know,
people often joke that 90% of the 90% of games on Inkblot TC they come down to what happens in the bats position. You know, people joke about that, but it's not really a joke. Like, bats really are that important of a key position, and being able to push it as a team is what determines the victor of this map mode more often than not. So I'm really hoping that we see some of that coming from both of these teams, especially since, you know, from what I was able to tell from that first game, both of these teams like to play fairly aggressively. They like to move really fast and move as a team. And that kind of playstyle lends itself quite well to TC Inkblot. So I'm expecting to see a lot of crazy back and forth, crazy bold plays, a lot of like good stuff happening. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we're having some issues right now getting back into the PB, waiting for the game to get started again. Until then, maybe we can switch to talking about these keys to victory on the card as they're up.
Yep, we got the card. Alright. But, yeah, do you want me to start on this one, I guess?
Go ahead.
Alright, so looking at WPI Grizzco Workers Union, as I said, one of their keys to victory is killing the rat, aka their brush player Lagoon. Know from experience with working with both of these captains here that Lagoon, again, is a fantastic shot caller and also a really important influence on Titans of Alterna's pushes. So, obviously, if they shut down Lagoon, they're going to have a lot easier time potentially taking control, as they have, as Lagoon is a big reason why a lot of distractions are caused on their team, in regards to getting some picks on those pushes. Don't jump the gun on retakes. Play them safe. We saw a little bit of some struggling with that towards the end of the match, which caused the ultimate switch back over into Titans of Alterna's favor in overtime there. But generally, they've been doing a pretty good job at that, honestly. They've been playing it safe. We saw them build up 3 specials before taking a retake. I think it's more just a matter of making sure those specials connect and getting value on some of those plays. And number 3, hoping the commentators have fun. Love you guys, genuinely. Hope you guys are having a great time over there as well. Alright, and I'm gonna hand over Titans of Alterna's keys of victory to Nikki.
Sure. So we got using Vac and Reef Slider to punish those who get too close, Whales and Strikes to disperse people and pick them off. In other words, good special coordination, right? I especially like the pairing of Vac and Reef Slider together. Slider having excessive end lag, and Vacuum provides the cover for the Slider to not be punished as easily. We didn't see a lot of that. I don't even think they had a Vacuum in that last match, but still, like, the intent of that strategy is there, and I'm really hoping we see some of that going in. We'll get back to those keys to victories in between our next match, but going into game 2, Titans of Alterna continuing to pull out some crazy bold comps, going double brush of an ink brush and a paintbrush. I'm excited, frankly. What are they cooking?
This is a classic for their team. They've made insanely weird comps work in the past with their strong communication and team play, and I'm really excited to see what happens here. It looks like Lagoon is trying to hold space here in between Krona and Lagoon going back and forth on right stack over there. It looks like Lagoon is going to win the interaction, and the map is currently going to go into the favor of Titans of Alterna here. So we're going to need to see WPI play a little bit safe here and wait for specials, but strikes are going to make sure that a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and speaking of specials, Titans kind of just threw out everything they had there. Laser strikes, here's a wave breaker on tower. They're really making sure they make a good first impression of this opening push. Getting past first checkpoint, but going 3 down, that's definitely going to give WPI the chance to turn this push around, take a lot of space, and maybe get a counter push going of their own. Looks like we have the Splash trying to move in on the... That's not a Splash, that's a Glugadoolies. My fault. Trying to move in on the left side, but gets picked off quickly by Lagoon here. Trying to move in, take some space, challenging the Crab, finds the pick with the Splat Bomb. Big play there. That's going to give Titans a lot of space to move in and be aggressive, especially as Lagoon moves in, looking to find even more picks over here.
And it looks like Lagoon's going to go down, so that gives Grizzco Workers Union a chance to get control of the map again. As I said, Lagoon does a really great job at putting out pressure onto the... Ooh, and a great pick on that Zuka there. So it looks like... And a great pick from Mario over there as well on the left. And it looks like Grizzco Workers Union is going to go right into their bats here to start getting control of their side of the map. It looks like they're going to be getting a check pass right here. And unfortunately, Krona goes down as 2 Titans of Alterna members rush the bats.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought that was a fantastic play from Corona to get up into Bats super early like that. Bats is so important. There is no such thing as being too early to take control of it, in my opinion. Unfortunately, they found themselves alone up there. They really needed some extra team support up in the Bats if they wanted to hold that position for any longer. But the intent was there. They took the lead, WPI, getting the score all the way down to just shy of that second checkpoint when it starts. Although they're gonna have to adapt to switch onto the defense. Titans are putting some lasers up into Bats, trying to create some space to see if they can get in there, but WPI is doing a fantastic job of holding space on the Plat and Bats, making sure that Titans can't get in there, so their push is going to be quickly repelled. They find a few points, but nothing major, although it does look like they're trying to keep the momentum of this push alive still.
Yes, and once again, we're seeing a very back-and-forth map control here, with both teams doing a good job at taking picks, but having a hard time pushing off of their specials here. So we're gonna probably see this back-and-forth movement until an opportunity is made for a little bit here, and that may happen here with the Crab. Titans of Alterna are fairly backed up right now, but it doesn't look like there's many people in mid right now to make any advantage off of that, and it looks like they kind of just staggered a little bit there with their positioning, and it looks like two are going to go down on Grizzco Workers Union as the... Ooh, and a great pick, though, there from Morris, so maybe something may happen here, but...
Yeah, that was a...
Titans are still have control of that.
I want to praise the splash there, Mortis there. That was a fantastic play. They got flanked by that brush out of absolutely nowhere, and like they kept their cool. They didn't panic. They turned around, got the quick pick on them like it was nothing. So like good on them for being able to like keep their cool there and like not get too surprised by the flank. Although Lagoon is up in the Bats, they're taking a lot of space. They're behind them, finding a lot of picks. WPI's defense is crumbling here. They really need to reorganize. But the last one drops in. WPI's caught a bit in a feed stagger loop right now. Titans of Alterna are taking so many points here, and like their push is still going. Lasers online, like all four of them still up. Like WPI really is struggling to stop this push. They're taking the third checkpoint. Looks like they're just running right through it.
That is the Lagoon classic there. Lagoon got 2 there, and it's been doing a really good job at holding control there. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get Titans off the tower there, and it's going to go in favor of Titans once again. Just very unfortunate. Looks like what happened there was WPI played that way too fast, and when they played that way too fast, Lagoon was able to immediately take control of their Bats, and that was just going to cause a snowball there.
I mean, that game really does just demonstrate the importance of Bats. All it took was one player to get up into Bats while they were unoccupied, and WPI's defense just completely crumbled. They got behind them and up in the Bats. They found the critical picks they needed, and then in a bit of like a desperate scramble, it seemed like WPI just kept running back into Bats one by one, allowing Titans to take advantage of that stagger loop, and then they just ran it all the way from 60 points all the way down to the knockout like it was nothing. I don't even think any of them really died during that entire push. So, like, kudos to Titans. Like, they played, like, that last push of theirs was absolutely phenomenal in the textbook way to push past second checkpoint through to the final checkpoint on TC Inkblot. So, really good stuff from them.
Yeah, and that double brush comp helped them out quite a bit there. You have the paintbrush playing at more of a range position there, and just doing a really good job at providing paint and chip damage, while Lagoon's brush kind of just rushed in and handled a lot of their members there. Once again, these matches have been showing the absolute strengths of both of these teams. WPI running a more stricter comp, but having a good understanding of how to run off their specials, while Titans of Alterna have a very strong understanding of communication and playing off of each other in these really fast situations. For sure.
Anyways, jumping back into Titans of Alterna's keys to victory, because we were kind of cut off last time. That second one of those, whoever we find supporting their team the most, pick them off and make the others easier to deal with. A classic strategy, you know, like find that key player on the other team and lock them out, because once that player's out of the picture, the other three are going to be struggling a lot more. Obviously, you don't want a tunnel vision on that one player. Like, you know, those other three, they're still capable players, especially speaking as someone who played against WPI last season back in Div 3. I could say firsthand that all 5 members of WPI are extremely capable players in their own right. In fact, in my opinion, like, if you were to ask me who I thought like that key supportive player on WPI's comp is, I don't know if I could pick just one, because they're such a tight-knit group of players. But regardless, a good key to victory on the parts of Titans of Alterna. It's a good strategy to have. And then that last one, stay cool, calm, and collected. A classic key to victory, you know, like don't tilt, keep a level head, no matter what happens, play your heart out.
Ooh, it looks like WPI is subbing, which is something I didn't expect from them tonight. Looking at some of their rosters and weapon comps that they had planned. So I'm excited to see who may be coming in here, because I'm pretty familiar with all the members here. So we'll be seeing who that is in just a second here. Next game we're going into is Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard, which again, with these really fast team pushes, is gonna be really fun to watch, because in my opinion, in the past, of playing off this map, Sturgeon could go in any team's favor incredibly fast, depending on how a push is initiated. So, and with how quickly Titans were able to bring the Inkflaw Art Academy neutral into their favor, like, we're gonna probably see some really interesting plays here from that map.
Oh yeah, for sure. Rainmaker Sturgeon is an interesting map mode, I'd say. I mean, for one, it wasn't in last season's map list, so this is still like a fairly new thing to a lot of teams in CCA. So like that, usually that means there's not like a hard and fast like rule of how to play it. Teams are free to kind of like experiment and find the strategies that work for them. And if these two teams both playing very aggressively, as you noted, and like Rainmaker, of course, being the fastest of our four modes, straight up anything can happen. So I'm definitely looking forward to what we're going to see coming out of out of this game, especially knowing that WPI is subbing a player in, right? So we're going to be seeing some different strategies for them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in those first two games, they ran the exact same comp right down to the weapons each player was playing. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good comp, so you can't really go
I mean, it is a good comp. Like, no shame there.
It doesn't really matter as much, but I'm really curious to see what they bring in here, because I know WPI has some really interesting players on their bench right now. So we'll be seeing potentially one of those players come in here, and they have a lot more of an interest. They have a couple of really interesting weapon pools on those players. Currently, with the match being 2-0 in Titans of Alterna's favor here, Grizzco Workers Union is really gonna want to make a win here, because historically, Titans of Alterna has been a really, really good Clan Blitz team, and a map like Robo Ramen is incredibly aggressive for pushes. So hopefully we'll be seeing something potentially go in their favor here. And it looks like we're already seeing Frosta, who's going to be on Bucket this match. Frosta has historically been a really strong player for WPI, so I'm really excited to see what happens here in this match.
Yeah, and on the side of Titans of Alterna, they continue to surprise us with some interesting picks. First of all, the Dreadringer in a mode that isn't zones. That's definitely pretty interesting. But obviously, the bigger elephant in the room, the Big Swig Roller. Not even like the Express one that has the rain. They're pulling out the Vacuum Big Swig, which is a weapon you hardly ever see these days. Although it's not without merit. Now, a Big Swig having that extremely high object damage, it makes for a very strong Rainmaker weapon. And Vacuum and Rainmaker, of course, like that's really powerful combo, especially pulling out that Vacuum plus Slider combo. Like, they're gonna get a lot of value out of it, I feel. But anyways, an early advantage for WPI. They found the critical picks they needed. Frosta was doing a great job getting behind him with that bucket.
That was a team wipe from Frosta's end. That was like incredibly... Oh, that's a great pick on the Rainmaker there. Lagoon flanks and throws a bomb at Phantom, and it explodes and kills him there. It looks like they're gonna have it looks like they're doing a pretty good job right now at creating a distraction there. And even though the points are currently in the favor of WPI Grizzco Workers Union, Titans of Alterna are going to get really quick map control back here once again. They have a lot of experience running this Dread and Big Swing comp, which obviously has a lot of paint. So whatever Grizzco Workers Union goes down, we're going to potentially see a lot of really fast control. And once again, Frosta trading out here. WPI doing a much better job here at holding control of the map, and it looks like they're going to be pushing once again. But Strikes may not have anything to say about that.
Not letting up any pressure. Like, they got the Rainmaker again. Cooler's online. Looks like they're opting to go up the right route this time instead of getting from that top left. It's probably the safer, more consistent way to go. I say as all three members of WPI go down. The Rainmaker's forced to just running for points. They do get quite a few points. I was not expecting them to make it that far, but Titans, regardless, they do find the pick eventually. It's a shame to give up points like that, but I mean, there's only so much you could do when the Rainmaker's gunning it with a cooler active, right? Titans of Alterna, stuck on their side of the map, trying to find some opportunity to get back out of this disadvantageous state they've been in for what feels like the entire game.
Yeah, as I said, Frost is doing a really good job here at getting picks and offering these really great opportunities here. Incredibly strong player for WPI, and Titans are going to have to make a lot more of a plan around his aggression. Going for the pop there, he got us trapped out there, so that's unfortunate. But WPI still has control of mid right now, so he's going to be able to get a safe jump back.
Right, I mean, yeah, look, we're halfway through this game, and WPI has had control over mid for what feels like the entire game up until now. Another cooler online, so they're not letting that pressure up. Even if they die here, they'll be able to get right back in like nothing ever happened. Titans are desperately trying to make something happen, throwing out sliders and vacuums. Lagoon rushing in, try to get behind him because it's going to go down, stuck in the corner there. And Titans are going to go 2 down again. WPI, all 4 members alive. Multiple specials online as well. Like, it looks like they're going to have an opportunity to just start pushing again.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job right now at holding space, and they're going for trades right now, which is actually a pretty good idea right now with the current state of the game being 32 to currently 0 at the moment. And once again, really great strikes here from Frosta that's going to allow them to push right back into their spawn. Great follow-up with the Zuka there. WPI is just going to keep this thing going, but it looks like they have to back out as 2 go down.
Yeah, that was an absolutely massive reef slider from the Dreadringer there. They were the only one left. A slower weapon like Dreadringer really struggles to take on multiple people at once, so it was all up to them to hold down an entire team of angry players from WPI, and that slider just completely turned the tables on them, stopped the push dead on their tracks. WPI didn't even get any points out of that. And it looks like Titans finally finding the opportunity to move and take a lot of space. There goes 2 on the side of WPI. Make that 3. A slider coming to get the quick pop as well. This is going to be Titan's first chance to really get a push going. Looks like they're opting to take it right. Again, it's the safer, more preferred route a lot of teams opt to take on this map mode. But they're down to the last 45 seconds of the game. They're just now finding points. They definitely need to play really together if they want any chance of turning this game around.
It looks like the members of Titans are pushing in really fast here, and it's going to be very hard for Lagoon to go to push in here. I think they're unfortunately probably going to go down here with minimal anything on their side, but we'll see.
Yeah, they're like really stuck in the corner there, getting bombed to hell and back. Although, shockingly, they're doing a good job staying alive, despite being the only one alive there for a decent bit of time. The members of Titans are doing a good job staying close to the Rainmaker, keeping them safe. WPI is desperate to get this kill on the Rainmaker, like they're diving in.
And honestly, they can take their time with this. Mario's gone down for the 3rd time in a row to this Rainmaker. They really need to be playing this a lot slower here. They have a 30-point advantage. And because of the fact that they took too long there, they're going to potentially be able to get lead here, and it goes in their favor. They played that way too quickly, unfortunately.
Wow, just what a comeback from the sides of Titans. Like, they were down for what felt like so much of that game, and then as soon as they found that one advantage they needed, they ran with it. They played it really, almost using WPI's impatience and aggression to their advantage. They played, like, Titans played that so patiently, just waited for them to, like, run into them over and over and over again. And so eventually they found that one key advantage they need to just run it straight to the first checkpoint, get a quick pop, and then in the chaos of what was going on while WPI was scrambling, they grabbed the Rainmaker and just ran it for points, knowing that WPI's lead wasn't that big past that first checkpoint. So Titans... Yeah. Despite that game being, like, really, like, a bit of a struggle for them, like, WPI was playing exceedingly well for, like, the first 4 minutes of that game. Titans, their knowledge of their opponent really came in clutch there. They used that first advantage they got, and they just completely took that game right under WPI's nose.
Yeah, as I said, Sturgeon Shipyard is a game that can go very fast depending on how a team plays their pushes there. And Titans played that really safe while WPI kind of just fed into them. If they played a little bit slower there, I think they would have had that game, unfortunately. And going into this game, as I stated, Titans of Alterna has historically been an incredibly great Clam Blitz team. And with the aggression they're outputting tonight and the opportunity and the advantages they're taking, this game could end tonight on Robo Ramen. I would love to see this game go further, but WPI is going to have to really play to their strengths here. And I know they can, because we saw it in Sturgeon Rainmaker. So I'm really excited to see what's going to be happening here on this. Frost is going to be staying in for WPI here, which I think is going to be a really great player to have here, especially with all of the ledges and off angles that Robo Ramen provides. So we'll be seeing here if they can make something happen off of this.
Yeah, I do agree that keeping Frost in for another game is probably the correct play to make, not only because Bucket's a very strong choice for this map, as you mentioned, so many slopes and off angles to play with, but it definitely seems like Titans were struggling to handle the Bucket on Sturgeon. It's a tricky matchup for them, I guess, so like keeping them in for another game, hopefully using that tough matchup against them. It might get him far, although Frost is going to be switching to the Machine, actually, an interesting pick. Titans of Alterna pulling out the custom leader for that Kraken and Clam Blitz. Can't say I blame them, you know, like Kraken and Clam Blitz, it really is like it's such a classic Splatoon 3 special map or special mode combo. But we're hopping right into this game. WPI going down pretty early. Frosted being a bit too aggressive there. Another goes down to the Charger. This E-leader's putting in work.
Yeah, I think Titans planned for this sort of comp coming from WPI, and I think potentially having the leader here is going to offer them a lot of opportunities here, where WPI is going to be struggling with range, so Titans are going to be taking advantage of that, having their leader set up on glass and in safer backline positions that allow for them to make something happen here. And it looks like we got some early strikes here that may potentially help out with getting this leader out of play here. They're playing it really safe here. Krona and Lagoon getting a really close encounter there, which Krona wins. They have their first Powerball, and it looks like they're going to be needing to make something happen here. But it looks like Frosta... Oh! Alright, it looks like they're going to hold really well here. 3 go down on the side of Titans of Alterna, and this is going to be their opportunity to make something really strong happen here on their first push.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Robo Ramen on Clams is a fairly difficult map mode to score on, in my experience. It's a more defensive Clams map, so getting a really big push here right at the start of the game is definitely going to be vital for them, because from here on out, that's a lot of points. If they want to play this hyper defensively now, they probably could. Now, of course, WPI, like, they're known for their aggression, and in a comp that they're running, you know, no backline, they really don't have much of a choice other than to continue to keep up that aggression. But still, like, a huge push like that right at the start of the game, that's definitely going to do wonders for, like, the dynamic of this game. Especially since, you know, Titans of Alterna, they have that Kraken for Kraken cheese potentially, which is, like, you know, it's a free way to score in Clams. However, you know, when you're going in with Kraken cheese, the most points you could possibly get is 60 out of that. And that's assuming that you have complete control of the Clam economy with 3 balls online. So when you're going up against a team that's trying to use Kraken, it's really important to, like, maximize the point gain of your pushes. And WPI really did that. Like, once they got that initial ball in, they didn't just back up. They continued the pressure of that push. Got an additional, do some quick math, like 48 points there. So they have a massive lead, which means that Kraken from the side of the leader, it's not going to be able to do too much unless it finds picks and they push the old-fashioned way.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be a good pick from Titans here. This is their opportunity to push, and they get a third there. This is going to go right into the favor of Titans here. This may be their opportunity to push. I don't know if they have the Clam economy just yet, though, to make a push here, which is going to be really important, and it's exactly the problem with this map. It's really hard to get Clams, even on thing here, and it's a very much a waiting game and playing off of your advantage here. They're going to get a power Clam now, but WPI Grizzco worker users are back in, and unfortunately, their T-Tech gets caught up in those strikes and pushes a little bit too far forward there. Ampre sadly stuck on their own there, is going to get Zukin out. The standard Robo Ramen experience, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it looks like WPI is going to be going in again, and they may be getting another push here.
Yeah, WPI is going to get the ball in. I mean, Titans of Alterna, that was a delayed wipe from their side, so WPI taking advantage of the fact that all 4 players from Titans were respawning. They're just going to run back in, score another ball in. They're not going to get any follow-up, so they're not going to get any points there, which had, like, you know, there's some pros and cons to that. They are giving Titans of Alterna a free pity to work with, but they are chipping away at that penalty. So if they get another push going, that could be a much better opportunity to score a lot more points. But it looks like both teams are falling back into neutral, desperately trying to find some picks. A big Zuka shot from Krona there, finding one, although the Machine's going to effectively make that a trade by going down there. Like, both of these teams are locked in neutral, just really struggling to find any opportunity here. And if only a minute left in the game, Titans of Alterna, the ball is very much in their court. They need to make something happen sooner rather than later if they want any chance of winning this. They're going to miss their throw-in. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, Yeah, it looks like Titans are panicking here, trying to make something happen here, which is pretty standard for Robo Ramen once again. This is an incredibly difficult map to push on, and WPI Grizzco Workers Union have been doing a phenomenal job at just holding space, and oh my god, Frosta gets another 2 picks there. It looks like Titans are going to be holed up in their spawn, and this is going to be another opportunity for WPI to push in again, with another Zuka online for them. And Mario's just grabbing clams right now. They're gonna have 3 power clams on the field right now, and WPI can play this safe with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, this is a really rough spot for Titans to be in. They're down within the last 5 seconds of the game, but WPI has complete control of the economy. Titans of Alterna, they do have that 1 pity that WPI gave them earlier, so we're gonna get overtime here. But besides that 1 pity, like, Titans of Alterna has almost no clams to work with. And when they need such a massive push here to have any chance of turning this game around, that really doesn't bode well. They're like running out of time very quickly. Looks like they're going in for a jump. Is it gonna work out for them? They break the basket, there's only 1 left alive with no clams. They're gonna get picked off as well. That's gonna be a wipeout. And WPI, against all odds, they take the game in clam blitz. And now we have an actual set in our hands. They're gonna be taking that first game. But hopefully, like, looking for that reverse 4-0 sweep, potentially.
I mean, I would argue we already have a great set on our hands. This has been going back and forth this entire set. Both of these teams are giving it their all for this playoff spot.
I mean, like, not to imply that we're not having an insane set as is, but, you know, like, WPI, they're proving that they're not, like, they're not gonna go down 4-0 to Titans. Like, despite being so far down, they're not out. Like, they're thinking, you know, we might be 0-3 in the set right now, and we're going against our opponents in their best mode. But we still got our fight left in we still got some fight left in us. Like, we're gonna go out swinging no matter what. And you know what? Like, we ain't giving up yet. Like, we're still in this. Don't count us out yet, despite being down 0-3.
And honestly, I would argue this last half of the map list is in favor of WPI here, especially with their weapon comps. We have, coming up next, we have Zones on Barnacle and Dime, which is a very good Zuka map. So we may be seeing some really interesting plays and picks from WPI on this side of the map. I know, from experience with WPI and Titans of Alterna, that win on Robo Ramen Clams is incredibly motivating for the side of WPI Grizzco Workers Union. And I know both of these teams are in this to have fun and and from talking to both of them, I know that they're both pretty much a whoever wins type of team. And I know that they're probably just I'm hoping and I have a feeling they're doing a really good job at keeping their cool on both sides here, and that's why we saw such a really great dominant game from WPI in that game 4. So, Nikki, what do you think about so far about everything going on here?
I mean, it's been an absolutely insane set, you know, like, I really can't describe it any better than you can. I mean, you know both of these teams on a personal level, so, like, everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, like, it's hard to argue with it, but we're moving into game 5. We're still in the set, scores 1-3. Some more interesting picks from the sides of both teams. It looks like WPI is opting to stay with the same comp from last game. It worked very well there, so they're going to pull it out again. I'm also now thinking to myself that Neo Machine from the side of WPI may be an attempt to shut down Lagoon on Brush. Brush's weapon likes to shark a lot, so point sensors do wonders to keep it locked down. Just having eyes on it at all times is a really good way of taking advantage of it. But also on the side of Titans of Alterna, they're pulling out the Flings of Ola for the first time in this set, and already getting some value out of it. Those missiles finding one, giving them the space it needs to take control of zone, and potentially move up to take that key location on WPI stack.
Yeah, and it looks like Lagoon was able to get a support there, unfortunately. So it looks like WPI is going to be able to get the pick there and then quickly take control of the mapping once again. Mocha getting a great pick, getting 2 great picks there on T-Tech. And it looks like the zone's going to go back in the favor of Titans of Alterna. Once again, we're seeing a very back and forth comp here, right here.
For sure. Strikes coming out from the side of Titans of Alterna, trying to clear up some space. They're still trying to get up onto WPI stack there. That really is the critical holding position on this map. Before you get there, you know, you're kind of forced to play in zone. And playing in zone, you know, there's gonna be so much back and forth. WPI's throwing out some strikes at zone, trying to flip the zone. Finds one, that's gonna do a lot for them, especially taking out the heavy edit there. That really is the defensive crux in their team. Picks going down all over the place. This is a 1v1 scenario between Frosta and the T-Tech, I think.
And they're going to get some quick jumps back in here, so that situation's going to turn into a 3v1. So sadly, Mocha's going to go down here. And Frosta's taking great advantage here, getting some great Zuka picks here off the side. Titans are going to be run back into their spawn, and this is a great lockout position on this map, but I think the Flings is going to do a really good job at making sure that they can't hold those positions. Seeing some really great antenna missiles from the Flingsley here. Unfortunately, they get picked off here, but I think that Titans have another great shot at taking the zone as they just did.
Yeah, using those strikes to flip the zone. I mean, WPI, they did get the lead there, so Titans of Alterna, the ball is in their core. They're going to have to work pretty hard to get back into this game, especially with WPI showing that once they get into that lockout position, they're doing a really good job of holding it. They're already back up on the stack. What Titans Alterna really needs to use their displacement to their advantage to force them off the stack before they try running back the zone. And that last interaction, they used their strikes to flip the zone, and sure, they got the zone for a little bit, but WPI was able to retaliate immediately after because they still had control of that key location on the stack, and now they're just right back in it like nothing happened. With no penalty left as well, WPI is scoring a lot of points here. Like, they could just run away with this game if they wanted to.
Yeah, and it looks like strikes were pulled really early there too, so Titans are currently down on strikes, which is a really great into. It looks like they're going to be popping cooler here, so maybe they have another shot at building something here. But with 12 seconds left on the clock, and with how dominant WPI has been here, they're going to really need a miracle pick here on Titans' end. And it looks like the Zuka is going to make sure that doesn't happen. Mocha is trying everything there, but unfortunately, it's going to go to Grizzco Workers Union.
WPI, again, like, they may have been down early on in this set, but they are most certainly not out, still showing that they could put up an insane fight. Titans of Alterna, you know, like, they're so close. One more win, and they have both the win over WPI, and they have that playoff spot secured, but they are struggling to find that last win. WPI is using their desperation to their advantage. My goodness, like, just what a set. I'm losing functionality in terms of how to speak here. Like, it's getting so out of control with how this match has been going.
To clarify on Nikki's point from earlier, I am actually teammates with both of the captains of WPI and Titans of Alterna. So going into this past week, I've heard about how both of these teams are really wanting to prove to each other that they could put on a great performance here, and honestly, we are seeing that. These guys are going back and forth, and there's been amazing plays on both sides here. I'm sure that both of them are going to be having a great time talking about this match later today.
For sure.
So
but I mean, hey, we saw a bit of what you were talking about there. Like, the back half of this map list seems to benefit WPI's comp a bit more. And we definitely saw a lot of that in Barnacle zones. Like, once WPI got into that key lockout position on the opponent's stack, they didn't let it go for the entire game. Sure, they might have lost zone for a split second there when Titans of Alterna placed those strikes there. But, you know, they flip zone, get right back onto the stack, and just keep the lockout going. I felt like once Titans of Alterna lost that early advantage they got, it's like they never got it back. So WPI's aggression really came into play there. They got that lockout and they held on to it vigorously.
The double Zuka and the double Zuka with the Neo Machine and the V-Shot there did a really great job at shutting them down. And I think they're going to have a little bit of a conflict here because WPI, Frosted can play a really great bucket or a really great AoE weapon, but they also really have Zuka. They can go for strikes or Zuka here. And I think Zuka may be their better option here, but we may be seeing a bucket because I think that would also be a really good play here. Is that V-Machine?
No, I think they're continuing to pull out the Neo Machine.
Neo, all right, thank you.
Again, if I had to guess, the thought process behind Neo Machine is using those point sensors to lock down Lagoon, preventing any sharking and flanking, because that's really what was getting the WPI early in this set. They keep leaving the brush unchecked, and an unchecked brush is a disaster waiting to happen. So those sensors are really doing wonders for them.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be really strong. This is a good comeback map for Titans, though, as well, because obviously Hagel has a lot of really good flank routes here on the left and right. Pretty basic flank routes, but they are still flank routes that could definitely, if they're not managed properly, could go into the favor of Titans here. And it looks like Titans are going to quickly get control of the map, as I say that. Going 2 down to the Zuka. This has been a very big Zuka central map game so far from WPI here.
I mean, WPI's use of Zuka has really been like the crux of their team. I think they know when to use it, how to use it, and beyond, if nothing else, they're good at using it. Not a wasted shot, not a wasted usage of Zuka, like at all in this set.
Yeah, they've been making really great value off of the Zuka here. Frost is doing a really great job at watching the ledges here. If he was able to get the pick on the leader there, that would have potentially put this game into a very strong lockout situation here, and it looks like they're still holding that regardless, though. Lagoon is struggling there with the Neo Machine below, switch back there, and it looks like WPI is doing a really great job at holding the space here with the Zukas. This is I'm a little bit flabbergasted here. This game has reversed so well into WPI Grizzco working in favor. And it looks like Titans are going to have a little bit of a tough time coming in here, especially with these trade-outs coming from WPI here, who are just doing a really good job at holding neutral. Lagoon's going to have a hard time here with pushing into. It looks like Grizzco has been planning ahead with heating up all their sides on their flanks, and it looks like Mario's going for one here, but obviously with the ton of missiles there, he's going to get caught out really fast.
I mean, yeah, like, WPI, it seems like as this set's gone on, they've been making more of a proactive effort to really keep defensive paint up. Obviously, the brush depends on sharking in order to get its picks. And if they have no paint to work with, they can't shark. And if they can't shark, they can't get those picks. So, WPI, shifting their focus away from just holding forward and, like just go, 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 go. They're slowing down a little bit in favor of putting some more paint on the ground before they run forward. And in this case, it's really working to their advantage, because by taking that time to paint up more, it's really limiting the options of the two brushes on this team, Lagoon and whoever's playing the paintbrush, I already forget. Especially since their teammates can't do much to paint for them. You know, the brushes don't paint too much, that leader is definitely paint negative. It's up to the T-Tech to really give them the paint they need. And unfortunately, that one T-Tech is significantly outpainted by WPI's comp of 2 shots, an NZAP, and a sloshing machine.
I'm sure I'm gonna hear a little bit of a couple jokes about Suga after this match. Captains here, because this has been incredibly difficult for Titans to get a little bit of a hold here with the fact that Suga's constantly out on the side of WPI. This is Titans' chance kind of to get control here. The lead isn't that bad, especially on this map. It's definitely possible for them to bring this back. You just need to be playing this really safe here. Mocha getting a great pick on Mario here, and it looks like it's going to go right back into the favor of Titans here map control-wise. They have control of WPI's court here, as long as they can potentially definitely gets them moving here momentum-wise.
Yeah, for sure. To follow up on what you said earlier there, like, the second checkpoint really is the key holding position. It's definitely the hardest of the 3 checkpoints to take, and the fact that WPI didn't even start taking it means Titans of Alterna is going to have a lot of potential in order to get a lead here, potentially, as we go into adopt that push fairly quickly, holding on to that lead for just a little bit longer.
I'm probably seeing a little bit of a frame rate drop on our end of things, but it looks like Titans do a really great job on that push. They got it to 57-42. This game is far from over. If WPI, or if Titans of Alterna do a good job at potentially pushing in here and maybe able to bring this back into their favor here. And I know these guys play really well under pressure and are very patient. And 2 going down from the side of WPI Grizzco Workers Union may give them their opportunity that they need here.
I'm thinking to myself, this game, like the situation that we're in right now, it gives me more than a few reminders of the Sturgeon Rainmaker game, where Titans of Alterna felt like they were down for the entire game, but then managed to find one advantage at the last second and ran with it in order to steal the game. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this game, but the way things are shaking out right now, it's more than a little similar. Titans of Alterna is in control of the tower. They have a Kraken on it, so of course they are.
But
although the leader is the only one left, they're going to be stuck in end lag. Picked off quickly. WPI is going to take another game. We are tied in the set, ladies and gentlemen, going 3-3. We're going into Game 7. Winner has a playoff spot secured. The stakes are incredibly high. I'm losing my mind, frankly. Oh my god.
I knew going into this game we were going to be seeing some really crazy back and forth here, and WPI has been doing a really great job in this last half of the set, keeping control of the map and keeping their cool and all of this stuff. Frosta coming in was an amazing player pickup here for their team, and I think it was a little bit unexpected for Titans of Alterna as well. So I think Titans are going to have to be making a really fast game plan here, especially for Rainmaker on Humpback. With how fast WPI has been with the double Zuka, Titans are going to have to really play this patiently and just hope they can potentially stop a snowball here.
I mean, Rainmaker Humpback, it's a map mode that really benefits aggressive teams. It's one of the fastest playing map modes in the game. And as we've said time and time again, both of these teams favor quick actions, decisive movement, and just all-out aggression over anything else. So it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be insane. With how pitch perfect this set's been going between these two teams, you'd swear that they deliberately planned beforehand who's going to win what games in order to make the stream as interesting as possible.
Nah, I don't think they went that far into it. I know WPI was very antsy about this set. Lots of I'm gonna put a little bit of spice into this a little bit. A lot of I don't know if we're gonna do well in this match. We'll see. I think Titans of Alterna got it. Chrono, you guys are doing fine. You were doing fine.
You're putting on a show, if nothing else. Like,
If anything, you guys are going 3-3 right now. You guys are putting out great pressure, great paint. You guys have been taking advantage of what you need to be doing. You are doing fine. I'm so excited to watch this game. Okay.
Game 7, Humpback Rainmaker. Winner has a playoff spot secured potentially. Loser likely is out of contention for playoffs. Like, the stakes are incredibly high, not just in terms of a season perspective, you know, like, obviously that playoff spot's really important, but on a personal level, these two teams have a lot of history with each other. Like, this game right here could determine so much of, like, how the dynamic between them is going to work. So we're going into the game. WPI, you know, Frost is going to go down pretty quickly. WPI, actually, I'm noticing they're bringing out the V-Slosher again instead of that Neo Machine, when, in my opinion, that Neo Machine was really doing wonders for their team. Those point sensors were vital for locking down the brush from Lagoon. And speaking of Titans of Alterna, they're continuing, even this late into the set, to pull out some new stuff, bringing out a Dynamo Roller. I can't say I blame them. Dynamo Roller on Humpback Rainmaker is one of the most popular weapon map mode combinations. This is one of the best map modes in the game for Dynamo. And Titans of Alterna taking advantage of it.
Oh, no!
WPI going 3 down. They're running it straight for the knockout, and they're going to get it within the first minute of the game. Holy shit.
Such a good job that game with shutting them down. That's such an unfortunate way to go out on the side of WPI Grizzco Workers Union. I think Titans of Alterna have locked in their playoff spot for the season. That is an unfortunate way to go down. But Titans of Alterna played that so well there with that Dreadbringer pick.
There was so much anticipation going into that game, so much build-up, so much hype. And then Titans of Alterna were just like, what if we just won within the first minute, you know? Like, oh my god.
Humpback is such a snowball-heavy map, and if you are not careful off that, the game could go into someone's favor in under a minute. That is such a sad way to go out, but I know that both teams here are probably very proud of how they did. And honestly, I can't blame them. This was a phenomenal set to watch. It's unfortunate how the last game went there, but they should both be really proud of their performances tonight, because this was amazing, and I'm so excited to see how Titans perform with their this in the playoffs.
I mean, if you're WPI, you know, it sucks to lose like that, but honestly, like, they still put on a show. I think most people, with how things were going on early in this set, like, it was looking to be a clean 4-0 sweep for Titans. And then they showed, no, don't count us out quite yet. Like, we could still put in a lot of fight. And, like, they had Titans nervous. Like, frankly, like, winning 3 games in a row like that, like, Titans were sweating in that last game, I think. And hey, granted, maybe that adrenaline worked out for them, because they really did just completely locked in that last game and ran away with it. But yeah, WPI, like, you know, it sucks to lose, but they should definitely be proud of their performance tonight, because they really did put on a show for us tonight.
Yeah, as I said, WPI was a little bit scared for this match, but honestly, even though they went down this game, they should be incredibly proud of their performance there. They played that so well, and WPI just did a really great job at, WPI and Titans just did a really great job playing off of each other this set, and as I said, phenomenal set, and that they should be incredibly proud of themselves, and hopefully we'll be seeing Titans do a great job going into this next thing. And we gotta start wrapping this up. So,
of course.
My name is Chai. You can follow me at Chai_Splat with the C and the S capitalized. And this is Nikki. I don't really know.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hi. I'm Nikki. I don't do a lot of social media. It's not my thing. However, if you like the sound of my dumb voice, you could go to my YouTube channel at @AnikoNikki. Subscribe to me, hit all the buttons that help me. You know the ones. I have a mission to upload every collegiate Splatoon VOD I'm involved in, so if you like the content you see on the CCA stream, you'll probably like some of the stuff I make. But otherwise, I think we're all set to wrap things up here, move on to our next match of the night.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be moving on to Spoon versus Sun God Squad, which is a Division 6 game here. And that's going to be commentated by, I believe, Ali and Floofy. So we're going to hand that over to them.
Well, funnily enough, I'm actually casting that one as well with my buddy Jay Money. So.
Hey, well, it looks like you got some. Looks like you're gonna keep going here, but it looks like.
Oh boy, I hope my throat can handle it.
You did a great job this match. You'll be fine.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
As I roll out, then I wish you guys a great night. And thank you guys for watching. I'll be tune in for the next match.